Hey everybody, it's Brandon Clayman and Jordan Gardner from Conscious Commerce Corporation. We are going to inspire you and educate you today with another webinar. They're free. We're going to focus through our partnership with Constant Contact on how to grow your business with Google search ads. Next slide. Awesome. So before we dive in, we're still waiting for a few people. We actually had well over 100 people register for this event, which is great. It's September. Woo! Welcome back to business. Just some background work to make sure that you know who we are and that we're the real deal. Been in business for 26 years. Conscious Commerce is growing steadily every single year sustainably. Top partner worldwide with Constant Contact. There's 10,000 other partners. Some of you are even on this webinar right now because you want to learn from the best. So thanks for joining us. I also have my trusted colleague here, Jordan, who works with Conscious Commerce every single day and has been an awesome contribution to the team. He's very, very adept at paid advertising, and that's why he's doing the presentation today. All of our staff here at Conscious Commerce are certified, and we are in the official last stage of getting completely, fully premier status with Google as a partner. Woo! Some of the things we do in our business, websites, we do email marketing. We've been doing that for a long time with Constant Contact, some SEO, paid advertising, and a few other services. One of the things that we'll talk to you later today about is our managed account program. Essentially what we do first is we vet you more than you vet us in terms of onboarding new clients. We have to make sure we know who we're doing business with. It's a pretty weird marketplace out there. So we actually give you all of this free consulting up front. We don't charge for it. We simply want to be able to align with you, better understand your business, and supply you with all this consulting. Our regular consulting rates are $400 an hour, but that's all free because we just simply need to know where we stand with where you're at and then where you're headed. So we analyze and do all of these types of reviews. We get on Zoom sessions, we record them, we make sure that you know where you stand, and then from there we can identify any opportunities, whether you do those on your own or you hire us to do them for you. At that point, we don't care as long as it gets done and you're getting the marketing results. Right. Oh, one last thing. We were the first certified solution provider with Constant Contact. I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. So you should know that because many of you come in from Constant Contact. So I'm going to pass this now off to Jordan, and he's going to take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Brandon. Hello, everybody. I'm extremely excited to present to you today, as this is one of my very favorite marketing channels in terms of digital. Google search ads are a fantastic way to get in front of an audience, a very targeted audience. And we're going to present to you a practical strategy for success based on search ads. Now, quick question to kick us off here. Now, how many of you are currently using Google Ads to market your business? If you could just, throw your hand up in the chat there, or just let us know how many of you are actually using it right now. That would be great. We can kind of tailor some of the information we give to you specifically and to the ones that have not yet jumped on the Google Ads bandwagon. Now, while you're doing that, guys, just so you know, Conscious Commerce is a premier partner with Google Ads. We actively manage anywhere between $500,000 and $1 million a year for Google. Now, we don't make that much money, Google does, but what we do is facilitate that process for our clients to ensure that they are getting the visibility online where they need it in order to make a return on their investment, or more so when we talk about paid ads, return on ad spend. Now, Brandon, how many people are we seeing in here with that are using Google Ads?
We have about a third of the audience. So this will be good for them to learn more about how all this works.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, well, let's jump into it, guys. Why are we talking about Google Ads to begin with? There are many ad platforms out there. You've probably heard of Facebook, LinkedIn. You can even advertise on various different citations, networks like Yelp, for example. But what it all boils down to is Google is definitely a monopoly inside of this industry here, where they account for we're pretty near 94% of all searches that happen online. This makes Google the biggest search engine in the world. If you didn't know that already, I'm sure most of you did. But within their network, we're able to get in front of millions and millions, if not billions of people on a daily basis. Now, when we run Google Ads, we have typically seen a 49% of people will click on a text ad over another type of ad, which could be a display ad, something that you'd see an image on another website or maybe a YouTube video. You see those ads pop up there. Now, with these type of ads, search-based ads, they're based on text. So you write ad copy, something that you'd see here for jacksbackyardbarbecue.com. Now, 75% of people believe that paid search ads make it easier to find information. Now, this is really important here, guys, because you want to be able to trust the results that Google is giving you when you do a search like restaurants near me. If I do a search near like this, restaurants near me, I'm pretty confident in Google is going to give me a great resource to get to the end of my query. So in this example, Jack's Backyard Barbecue is near me. So that would be a very good click that I could make to get something for my stomach. Now, for every $1 on average spent in Google Ads, businesses will earn $2 in revenue. This is 100% return on investment, guys. That's what makes this platform and these type of ads so powerful. 40% of clicks go to the top 3 paid ads. If you're familiar with a search engine's results page, a SERP page there, you typically will have 3 ads at the top, depending on how competitive your keyword search is, and another 2 or 3 at the bottom of the page. Now, of course, the top most ads get that 40% of clicks, so it's always a battle to get there, and I'm going to tell you a little bit how that works in a moment. But what we also see here is 75% of local searches become in-store visits. For those of you that have brick and mortar companies and businesses out there, whether you're selling online or not, I highly recommend e-commerce if you have that ability. But if you're not selling e-commerce and you're looking for in-store visits, 75% of those local searches do bring traffic into your store. So this tells us here by the data that Google Ads are very effective. Now let's get into what we're going to talk about here today. We have 3 topics to discuss. First of all, what are Google search ads and how do they work? I want to explain to you guys how it works on the back end so that you have more information to use it on the front. How to create, maintain, and manage those ads, absolutely very important. If you're not, if you don't create an effective ad strategy and you don't maintain it over time, it's not going to yield the results that you hope and expect for. And also we have some tips and strategies for getting these great results. That one there, you definitely want to stick around. There's some really good information that we're going to share with you today. So starting at the top, what are Google search ads? For those of you who have not recognized these before, they are the listings at the top of that SERP, that search engine results page, that typically have that little ad icon beside it. Nowadays, it looks a little bit different, and it does look different on desktop and mobile. It could be a little black ad icon beside the headline. But regardless, if you see any of these type of images beside a search result, these companies here like GarageDoorsCo.com are paying every time you click on that ad. So there's 2 things to keep in mind there. If you are just doing some discovery searching and you're not really ready to buy yet, try to click on those organic results because it's not going to cost anybody money. But if you're really interested in what you're searching for and you're ready to make some actions or some moves, the ads are going to typically give you some of the best results that Google can give. Now, these obviously below the ads are your organic listings, and those are based off of SEO by each of these sites and how well Google correlates the search to their actual website and the power that they have in the search algorithm. A little bit different than paid ads. Now, I always get a question here, guys. If I do paid advertising with Google, will I see an improvement in my SEO rankings? The answer is no. All right, there is no correlation between Google paid ads, PPC, and SEO. Google is very, very strict on keeping those two things separate, so it doesn't give an advantage to somebody who can go and spend millions of dollars on their ad platform versus somebody that can only spend a few hundred, and they're not going to overtake the entire search engine results page in both paid and organic. So they keep these two very separate. So you don't have to worry if you're not doing paid ads or if you're investing in your SEO, they're not going to overlap and you're not going to have any advantage or disadvantage by not doing one or the other. But we always would recommend, depending on your industry, they synergize very well. Paid and SEO are excellent strategies to work together. Now, what are Google search ads? Search ads here are different than what you might be familiar with regards to those image ads I mentioned earlier, the display ads. Search ads are purely showing as text. Now, these could show up on Google Search, as we see here. They can show up in Google Shopping, on Google Maps, Google Play, and on search sites that partner with Google. You might be on a website, let's say like Forbes or the Weather Network, where you'd see an ad on the side, but it's not really image-based, it's more text-based. That is still a search-based ad. You can just utilize the display network for that. Now, search ads here are most effective for generating leads and sales. Very, very important because this is not necessarily a brand type of strategy. If you want to increase your leads and your sales, you do a search campaign, and if you have effective targeting on there, you're going to make a lot of money from this. But in this example, Nike does a great job with their particular search ads. They're using extensions on these ads to give you more information for what they do. We can also see Puma competing with them in the shoe company. This particular search here was actually Nike shoes, so you can kind of see who you're competing against. Now, also there's call only ads, which are based on the search network. And these ads here are slightly different, where if you were to click on Nike shoes, the official Nike site, you'd go to the website there, you'd be able to navigate through. Whereas with acmedesigners.com down here, if you click on this ad with the phone icon beside it, you're going to start calling that company right away. Now, that's really handy and really great strategy for service-based companies. If you're a plumber and you offer emergency plumbing services, call-only ads are going to be the way to go for you. Now, how does it work a little bit on the technical side here? Now, don't fall off, but what we're going to talk about here is basically how the bidding works. Google Ads in general is based on an auction system. So when you place a search into Google, you type anything into that search bar there and you hit enter, an auction is taking place. Now, whoever of the advertisers that are bidding on that keyword go into that auction, and this all happens in microseconds. If you win in that particular auction, aka you're bidding on the keyword that was entered into Google, you have great quality score on your ad side, and you're very relevant to what the searcher is looking for, your ad has an opportunity to show there. Now, very important as well, you don't have to bid the most to be the top ranked advertiser. That's not something that Google restricts you on. You can actually have a lower bid than another one of your competitors, but if your quality is higher, you can outrank them. But what happens when you actually click on the ad, or when that user clicks on the ad, you end up paying Google X amount for that click, and that's where the term CPC comes from, cost per click. Now, once that ad is clicked, the users then need to go to your designated landing page, or they're going to call you if you're advertising with call only ads. Now, guys, I want to pause here for just a quick second. If anybody has any questions whatsoever at any time I'm going through any of this, please just hit the chat messaging there. Brandon's manning that for us. He's going to answer any questions that he can, or he's going to pass it over my way. So please, easy, hard, irrelevant, just ask away. Let us know that you're engaged.
Yeah, one other thing to mention is you're not getting a copy of this webinar unless you're in our managed account program. So, and I know who's active and who isn't active on this. So ask, we're experts, we're certified. We'd love to just give you our knowledge. We're freely here to do that. So don't be shy.
That's right. All right, back to the Google Ads. How do these guys work? You're going to target the right audience. Now, you have a multitude of targeting options there. Some of the most basic ones are location, demographics, and keywords. You're then going to set your daily and monthly budget. It's starts at the month, I'd always recommend, and then you boil it down to a day-by-day basis, and that's going to give you how much you can spend on those clicks, and I'll get into that in a moment. And what Google Ads is extremely great for is quick results. Now, as soon as you turn on a campaign, you're now entered into those auctions, as I was mentioning earlier. If Google deems that your ads, your targeting, your website are viable to show for that particular search, well, then you get the show almost immediately. Now, there is a little bit of a ramp up time there, guys. I do want to let you know you have to give it a little bit of time to get the wheels running. It is based on that auction system, but it's also based on machine learning and algorithms. So the longer that you run a Google Ads campaign, typically the better results that you're going to get. But like I said earlier, this coincides great with an SEO strategy, SEO being a long-term strategy to get in front of those keywords organically. If you're just not quite there yet with Google and Google doesn't trust you for organic rankings, well, you can still get in front of those searches there by paying for those clicks. All right, what does it cost to run a Google Ads campaign? So on average here, guys, the search clicks, so your search-based text ads, your CPCs, cost per click, costs around $2.32 on average across all industries. When we break that down, there are definitely industries that come up a little bit cheaper and definitely industries that come up a little bit higher than that. So you'll see here we've broken it out on a per industry basis to give you an idea of where those CPCs are. CPCs are awesome to have an idea with before you go into an ad strategy, and this is something that we spend time with our clients and customers that make sure that they really understand where this money is going before we activate any strategy here. But for example, if you're in the arts and entertainment industry here, you're going to spend about $1.50 per click. But if you're a lawyer or part of the government, you're going to see a massive increase there, almost $6.35 a click. In my experience, guys, I've worked with a lot of lawyers before. Some of the most competitive lawyers are in Toronto, Ontario here, and I've seen upwards of $30 a click on occasion, depending on how competitive the industry is. So this is by far one of the most competitive and most expensive industries. Sorry if you're in it, but you're also making a lot of money when you spend this kind of money or per click. So you want to keep that in mind. All right, now this is one of the best slides on this presentation, so pay attention if you're not already. This is great stuff. So if you want to estimate your return on investment, I get this question a lot. There's a few things that you're going to want to do. First, you have to decide your monthly budget. So in this example, let's say here that Jack's Backyard Barbecue.com here has a monthly budget of $500. We'll take the average CPC of $2.32, and basically what you can do there is out of that $500, you divide that by 232, and you get your approximate click number. So you can get about 215 clicks per month based on a $500 budget and a $2.32 cost per click. Now, if your average order is, say, $50 on your website, whether that be an e-commerce product or whether that be a lead that you generate and need to close, and actually your close rate's very important here of 25%, well, that means you could get approximately 54 sales based on a close rate of 25% and 215 clicks. You multiply that by your average order number or order value, and you could potentially generate $2,700 in revenue, giving you a 440% return on ad spend. Now, I'm sure any of you would agree that that would be a very appetizing number. I would take that any day for myself. You also want to, check in and see what your margins are there. If you're selling a product that costs you $49 and you sell it for $50, you might want to reconsider what you're selling. But otherwise, it is nearly impossible, especially if you know what you're doing, to lose money in a Google Ads campaign. That's why we are so excited to present this to you today and give you an offer at the end of this webinar here to allow you to get into Google Ads if you're not already, or we can help increase the return that you're already generating in Google Ads. All right, let's move on. How to create and maintain and manage ads. So first of all, you're going to want to write an effective Google ad. There's a few components to that. So again, if we use jacksbackyardbarbecue.com as an example here, the first thing that you're going to want to input when you're building your ad campaign is your destination URL. Now, there are two things to consider here. Google actually allows you to choose to create your own URL to show to users that your ad shows to. This doesn't necessarily have to be the page that you send them to on the website, but if you think that you can add a different permalink or URL slug to the end of your actual domain, that would help you get better click-through rates, you can do that. That's a trick that Google gives you. So in this example, we're showing menu here because we want users who search for Jack's Backyard Barbecue to view our menu page. Now, a phone number is always extremely important when you add to your ads. You can get instant clicks right off that phone number. They're going to call you and they're going to ask questions. In this example, Jack's Backyard Barbecue, they offer call by order or order by call, and you can click here, call, you can order directly to them. It makes it easier for the user to get the information they want and to complete their idea, their intention. You're going to want to feature your unique selling point. Join us to try our new Roscoe sandwich soon. So this is a new sandwich that they're offering. It's kind of like a hook. You're enticing them to come in here and click on our ad. And then if they don't get it from this first line, you're always going to want to follow up with a call to action. Call or click to order today is a good one. Contact us today is another basic good one. If you can think of something a little bit more creative that matches to what your business is doing, well, that's even better. All right, keywords generate traffic to your ad, of course. Now, search-based ads here are based off of keyword searches. Constant Contact has a great tool inside of their system here that allows you to search for new keywords. This is something where you can just input your destination URL, so jacksbackyardbarbecue.com/menu, and it will give you an idea of some of the keywords and some of the volumes for those keywords. So of course, it's important in your discovery phase or as you're starting to generate your strategy to understand that there are in fact searchers out there looking for what you do. Now for them, it's easy. They're a restaurant. They offer onion rings, barbecue sauce, grilled chicken, etc., etc. I don't think they do McDonald's fries, but in a situation where they know that they have fries that could compete with McDonald's, this still might be a valid keyword to go after to try to siphon some business away from McDonald's, let's say, and go to Jack's Backyard Barbecue. But having a really good understanding of the total keyword itself and the search volume behind it can also help you get an idea of your scope of this project. For example, if you ran a campaign for Jack's Backyard Barbecue focused on selling onion rings, well, immediately by going after that keyword, they can get in front of 184,000 people on a monthly basis. And of course, that is a ton of opportunity. Target based on location. Now this is also extremely important depending on your business. If you are a local based business and we're kind of talking about brick and mortar locations and you need people to come into your store, well, it does not make sense to advertise nationally or even internationally. And I find that happens a lot. If you're a business owner and money's tight, you might go ahead and start advertising on your own. And then next thing you know, you put in a daily budget of 20 bucks a day. And then in 3 days, you've already blown your entire monthly budget because you're advertising to people overseas that have nothing to do with your business. This is a very common mistake and a pitfall that I see often when customers will come to us and ask what they did wrong. Location targeting is one of those things that comes up quite frequently. So you're going to want to make sure that you're targeting locations that make sense to your business. If you sell e-commerce online and you offer shipping across the country, well, yes, for sure, offer or target the entire country. Or if you're smart, you're going to look at your analytics, you're going to go into your geo report and you're going to see perhaps the states that you're most engaged with already, and you could save some budget or be better marketer and target those particular states that you're already engaged with, so you can just get a better return. But if that pool's not big enough for you, make it wider, and really options are unlimited here when it comes to who you can get in front of. You just got to make sure it makes sense to your business. All right, so you want to maintain and manage your ad, of course. Now, this is where monthly management comes into play. This is not a, set up and leave it and just let it go kind of thing, set up and forget. You do not want to do that with Google Ads. Even though everybody will tell you this is super easy to do in some situations, you're going to want to know what you're doing on a monthly basis so you can properly optimize and manage these ads. Because you can set up a campaign easily enough, and if you don't say edit your keyword targeting, because that's another element we'll get into here in a moment, but let's say you activate a campaign and you have 10 broad match keywords. And broad match, for those that don't know, are types of keyword targeting that allows Google to find anything that might be relevant to that particular keyword search. So let's say, for example, if I do a broad match keyword of moving truck, well, then Google could show my ad for a search that is buy a truck online. It could be completely different. I might not need to buy a truck, but Google thinks that that's relevant enough because I've only broad match modified that keyword that opportunity still might come up, and I might be paying for a keyword that just doesn't make any sense to me. So you need to keep an eye on your search terms. You got to keep an eye on your keywords. You want to definitely keep an eye on your click-through rates of your ads. And if you can do that all well, then you're going to see some results similar to what we have here from one of our clients who spent $561, ended up generating 95 conversions. They had over 5,000 clicks, and that ended up being a $5.88 cost per conversion for them. And for this client, that is an absolutely fantastic number. They're making roughly between $50 to $70 on a conversion. So that's an excellent price to pay for 95 conversions at that particular price. So they're pretty happy with the results.
We had a question for that, and I answered it, but it was just, talking about conversion. When we have e-commerce data, it's obviously a lot easier to report.
Yep.
But there are B2B people out there, and
of course.
They don't sell online. So maybe you can just talk towards, like, how do we figure out the revenue association to a conversion of something along those lines?
Yeah, okay, great question. Yeah, there's definitely going to be situations where if we don't have e-commerce built into our site, we can't directly tell you how much money you made or what your return on ad spend is from a campaign like this, just because we're not collecting that data. And by the way, almost any website platform out there, we can connect to your Google Ads platform to start seeing some conversion values come in and give you that number. But let's say you're a lead generation type of business, and your main lead generation is through contact forms and phone calls on your website. Well, there's a few things that happen there. One is that we would add a call extension. That's your phone number that we looked at a little bit earlier to the ad itself. We then track that. So as many calls that happen through that ad, we can tell you how many of those happened. And then we can also connect it to your website that if there was a form filled out, well, then we can tell you how many forms were actually submitted because of an ad click. Now, that's not going to give us our return on investment there. So we work with our clients to see kind of what their prices are on their end. I mean, it's super easy if you offer one service and that's, $500. Well, then we know that the amount of leads that we start generating for you are going to convert at a $500 cost. We end up working with you to find out what their lifetime value is, and then we can, do all kinds of really awesome calculations to tell you how much money you're making from this. But to kind of boil it all down, when we run a lead gen campaign, we connect it to your form or to a call or however you're collecting your leads, and then we can tell you exact number on how many forms or calls were made through a particular ad. Awesome. All right, let's talk about tips and strategies for getting great results. I hope that's perked up a few of your ears because this is where a lot of great stuff is. Relevancy, guys, relevancy is number one here. This is something that I find a lot of advertisers just do not keep on top of. Google's system, whether it be SEO or the pay-per-click strategies like Google Ads here, are all based on relevancy. That's how Google will know if you're trying to trick the system or spam or do something that's not going to help users at the end of the day, but put money in your pocket and not actually give something out for what you're doing. Google's trying to stay away from that as much as possible, and they've implemented many updates to restrict that from happening. Now, relevancy between these three items is absolutely key. So from your keywords that you target to your ads to your landing page, you want to use the same type of wording. So here's an example of some keywords or an ad campaign that we're running where we chose to go after searchers who search for landscaper, landscaping Edmonton, landscaping design, landscaping services, and local landscaping companies. You'll notice that there's a modifier on some of these keywords, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But as long as we're using these type of keywords inside of our ad copy, like landscaping design that you'll see right there, we use that again. We have experts in everything outdoors. We use Edmonton and area inside of our destination URL. So if Google can see that we're using the same type of keywords in our ad copy, and then once again on our actual landing page, that's going to really jack up your quality score, and that's going to decrease your cost per clicks, and that's going to increase your cost per acquisition. So there's a formula for you if anybody caught that. Message us here and Brandon will reiterate that for you. But it's absolutely essential to have relevancy between all of these different items here to get you your best cost per click and your best return on your investment. I mentioned a little bit earlier, you don't have to be the advertiser that spends the most amount of money in Google to show up #1 for these searches. You have to be the best quality advertiser. Google will pick quality every time over dollar value. I'm sure Google makes enough money on this platform that they don't just give it to the topmost money hungry advertiser. But if you can maintain relevancy between these three items or these three columns, you're going to do pretty well. Call to actions, extremely important. So once the ad is actually clicked and you get through to the website, it's the website's job now to convert that user. So the website, the landing page is just as important as the actual ad itself. Because we can get an extremely high click-through rate. Let's say people are clicking on our ads at a 15–20% click-through rate, which is amazing in this world. But when we see our conversion rate is at a 1% or a 2%, well, then we have a pretty clear idea that it's not necessarily the ad, because the ads are bringing people into the website. It might be something to do with the site itself that's not actually converting them. So you could not have a clear call to action. Somebody that lands on your page just doesn't know what to do. Maybe your website takes 10 seconds to load, performance is low. Well, that's going to obviously drop your conversion revenue that you can make from these conversions. Or also, if your ad is not relevant to your landing page, what do you think is going to happen? Somebody's going to click the ad, they're going to go to the landing page, see nothing about what they were expecting to see, and then end up leaving your website. So we can see your conversion rates dip, your bounce rates are increasing there if you don't have a great call to action or landing page. Now for Jack's Backyard Barbecue here, immediately above the fold, you're going to see a giant order now button if you know immediately what you want. But they also have a very quick and easy way to see their menu, their prices, anything that that user is going to want when they see or click an ad just like this one here. Awesome. So tips to generate leads and grow your email list. So if you're an advertiser whose goal is to increase your email list, and we do definitely run strategies that are like this because we know that email marketing has one of the highest return on investments there is with regards to digital channels. So one way to increase your email list is to run an ad campaign in Google search ads that tell people to sign up to your email list to get something or other. Now for this example, heartsandtails.org, they have right in their ad, sign up to get a free adoption guide. As soon as you land on that landing page there, you click this ad, you get to their website, they have a pop-up, sign up to receive a free adoption guide. Relevancy is there because we're saying the same things that we're offering in an ad. They're seeing that on the site, and you're going to see a very high conversion rate when you just speak on what you're actually offering. And inside of this example here, frenchconsulting.com, schedule a call today is their call to action. Immediately on the landing page, they have a free 30-minute consultation, schedule my consultation. Only thing that I'd recommend to these guys, I would say that this button should be a different color. It kind of blends into the background here. So I'd make that red really stand out, and that your eye will gravitate to it immediately. But regardless, they still do get a very high conversion rate because they are the relevancy between their ad, between the landing page makes sense, and we're telling the user what to do. Now this strategy here, we've seen email lists grow, anywhere between 30 to 70% just based off of working this type of ad strategy. And they don't have to cost a ton of money. You can spend, $500,000 a month and generate, 100 or more, depending on who you are and what your advertising goal is, emails to your list.
One thing I'll just add to that is back in 2014, our agency won the award for Best Integrated Marketing Campaign, where we tied in an ad spend with a survey, and it was for a golf course in New York, and we grew their list by 30% in 2 weeks. So it's very effective for lead generation when it comes to the right type of strategy and targeting.
That's right. Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Perfect. So Google Ads, we know it works as long as you do it properly. It's number one. It's going to get you in front of people who are searching for what you offer. I mean, immediately that's enticing for any business owner out there. Google Ads makes it very easy to track results. This is something that we do with all of our setups. We make sure that any of the results that we're generating from these ads is trackable, so you know exactly how much money you're making or how many leads you're generating off of this type of strategy. And again, just to remind you, search ads are the best way in PPC to generate leads and conversions. Now, you just want to think about your goal and influence them to take an action. That's by using great call to actions inside your ad copy and when they get to your website itself. Now for today, guys, we have a fantastic promotion to go along with this webinar. We actually have 2 options that you can take advantage of. If you are one of those 30% that told us that you are actively running Google Ads or even a Facebook ads account, and you want to map enroll with us, and that's very easy to do. All you have to do is give us a little bit of access to your account so we can see what's going on. We're going to give you a complimentary marketing analytics performance review, a $400 value. It's completely complimentary for you. You're going to get about an hour with us to go through your campaign. We're going to give you all kinds of recommendations and ideas to improve it. It's a fantastic value, and you should definitely take advantage of it if you haven't already. I believe Brandon's put in the chat there are various different links to get a hold of us and book us to set up one of these reviews with you. Option 2.
One thing about that is some people who aren't even doing Google advertising, that's fine. We don't need to talk about that. We can focus on constant contact. We can pretty much guarantee we'll improve your results by just looking at your account. Increase your click-throughs, increase your open rates, get better engagements, higher quality engagements within any pretty much marketing channel. So if you want us to look at any product that qualifies in our managed account program, Constant Contact, we have Google My Business. We're a marketing partner with Google My Business and have special knowledge about that particular channel. So we can do that. We can also look at search engine optimization. So it isn't just for Google Ads. You can speak to us about any particular product that obviously we are certified in and give you free strategy. For me, ideas are the easy part. It's the implementation and then the actual result. That's typically what is the much larger challenge. And so we're happy to give our free consulting. And outside of that, you can decide if you want to implement the ideas yourself, go for it. If you want to hire us to do it for you, that's an option too. Our attachment is on the result for you.
That's right. Awesome. And if you are not currently an advertiser on Google Ads or Facebook Ads, we are offering a free plan upgrade. This is awesome, guys. You're going to get between about $500 worth of value on this one, so it's even more enticing than our last offer there. If you've never done it before, or if you haven't done it in a long time, this is your opportunity to get more out of what you could already get from Google Ads. So we're offering a free plan upgrade on our solution fee, basically coming from starter, bronze, silver, and gold packages. If you wanted to go with the gold package because you want to heavily advertise inside Google Ads or Facebook, we will do all setups for you for $1,500 instead of the $2,000. And same goes for bronze to silver. And if you just want to start with a very simple one campaign strategy, we're going to bump you up to the bronze package immediately at no extra cost. So this is a really awesome offer, guys. Take advantage of it while you can. I don't believe we have a particular expiry on it right now, but it won't last long. I can tell you that. As soon as we get full with our intake, we're gonna have to tell people that we just can't take any more on. So don't hesitate. Reach out to us. Let us know which offer or which option you like the best, and we can make that happen for you almost immediately.
Yeah, no hard selling here, guys. We don't have time for that. We just want to make sure that you feel exclusive and you get something that is relevant to the event. Most of our prices, actually all of our prices are published publicly on our website. Most agencies would never do that because they can't. You know, we're very laser focused. We understand what we do and how we get the results. We create certainty in an uncertain marketing world. Right. And if we can't prove to you that, you know, whatever you're spending with us, you've made that back, then obviously that's not going to work. So our job is to make sure that we're tracking, following our standard operating procedures, our best practices, our certified award-winning knowledge, so that you actually can unlock those benefits in our relationship. So that's, yeah, George, you did a great job. I'm really happy about how you delivered this one.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Brandon. Like I said at the beginning, this is one of my most favorite channels. I'm certified. I've been for years, almost 10 years now in this field. It's something that I've personally seen my clients make a ton of money on and just really change the landscape of their business. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm looking to help more people on a daily basis, and so is Brandon. So we're here to help you guys. Like Brandon said, no hard selling. We're not in it to force anything down anybody's throats here. We just want to help and make sure that anybody that has the time to give to us to watch a webinar like this does get something in fact in return. And we're more than happy to help you out. And if you liked what you hear today, guys, you're excited about the offers, you're excited about what you learned, feel free to join us on our next webinar. We try to do these at least once a month. We do them, I think we're going to turn that up actually. We get a lot of success here, so we want to do a little bit more frequency here. But next month we're doing a co-webinar with one of our partners, Mar Media Group. They're one of the best social media advertisers out there right now. So we're going to partner with them for social made simple and website engagements. This is happening on October 15th. We'll have some links for you guys to join in there. Again, it'll be about an hour of jam-packed of awesome information and great tips to improve your strategies from social and website engagements. Once we get people onto our website, whether you're doing Google Ads, SEO, social media, you need to engage with those people on your website itself. It shouldn't be the last thing you think about. We have a lot of awesome opportunities there, some great products that we can introduce to you if you haven't been fluid in the engagement world already. So we're extremely excited about this one too.
Yeah, just a quick note for those who are still sticking around. Tessa May Mar is the owner of that agency, Mar Media Group. And our strategic alliance is pretty straightforward. We're not going to pretend to be the best in every single digital channel. We're not a huge organization. And we deliberately have chosen to align with organizations like Mar Media who can do all of the heavy lifting around the creation and the following of your organic social media community, the people that are really your fans, the real authentic fans the ones that have been following you for a long time. So Tessa and her team are going to join us together next month, and they're going to basically show you how you can create engaging content in social and what are engagements. And then when you get all that website traffic from all those engagements on social, we're going to show you what you do with that traffic and how do you convert that into tangible, meaningful metrics that matter for you. So that's how that's going to work together.
Awesome, guys, that pretty much concludes the presentation here today. We want to open the floor with a few more questions. If anybody has anything that they want us to answer for them, whether that's Google ads specific, Facebook ads, anything we didn't talk about here, email marketing for constant contact, feel free, please let us know. If there's anything that we can help you out with, we'll open up the floor here for another 5-10 minutes or so, depending on the amount of questions, and we can go from there. Brandon, what was your favorite part of the presentation?
I just think I like how we're presenting in a calm way. This is complex stuff. Like when you look under the hood of really what's going on inside of these accounts, it literally goes on forever. We even have to use intelligent software to sort of supplement our human staff to help with managing the accounts. So I like how you really simplified this in a way that was digestible, because I know that a lot of people on these seminars, they're not advanced marketers. We're all here learning and trying to get there. So you did a great job in making this a lot more digestible. So thank you for doing that.
Awesome, no, thank you. And that's one of the things here. We talk about extremely complicated, advertising strategies, but make them simple and easy to digest for our customers and clients and our webinar participants. I mean, I could go on for days and days and days on actually how the algorithms work in the back end and what is literally happening during that auction. But it's gonna go way over many people's heads, and it's just not a fun conversation all the time. It is for me.
One thing we can ask you guys, for those who are still on, there's still a bunch of you here. Can you maybe tell us what you want to learn about more? Like we can go either deeper, not right now, but we'll build you a custom presentation and we can create whatever you want. But if you wanted to go like really deep into paid advertising, or maybe you want to look at Facebook ads, because that's a whole other beast on its own, just let us know in the comments. We'd love to just give you what you're looking for so that, there's a better fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no other, let me see if there's any questions here. I've got 4 monitors, so sorry if I'm not looking right at you. I'm just reading over here. People are saying very good flow, great info.
Thank you.
Phil was saying, where would I locate keyword search in CC? I'll email him that.
Yeah, we'll connect with you on that one.
Mike is signing up for the next event. Good stuff.
Thank you, Mike.
Many and done some of our business, and you have mastered the GTW platform and are well spoken. Awesome. Thanks, Krista, and we'll see you next month because I saw you registered. Tessa, awesome. Good stuff. Susan.
You guys are making me blush. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, Susan, we'll reach out to you. Just book that call with Jordan. I think he's better fit for you. And what we'll do is just go through the specifics of your account, check the condition, the health of it. There's a lot of moving parts, and we'll just give you all the ideas. You do what you want with them. And then, yeah, Tessa wants to see how the Facebook realm works with, actually, maybe Joy, we can talk about this really quick. For those who are still wanting to learn a little bit more of advanced marketing, the correlation between Facebook ads and Google ads, because there's a secret weapon that Facebook gives us, this Facebook pixel. The Facebook pixel, when that gets installed into a website, and you wonder, I don't know if you guys have seen on Netflix, there are a lot of movies out there that talk about Facebook's like access to data. Right. And people don't read, they're not reading the terms and conditions. So they're giving away all this for free by simply agreeing to the terms of service. And that's why Facebook goes to court all the time, because they're like taking not advantage, but using that data. Anyways, the fun part of marketing is that when you combine the two channels, you get an acceleration of traffic coming to your website. So Google is sending a bunch of traffic to your website, both organically as well as paid. And then while that's happening, Facebook is analyzing the visits that come to your website. Now, with the billion plus people who are on Facebook, chances are they're logged into their Facebook account. So when the user comes in from Google and goes to your website, Facebook is now analyzing that person's digital persona and then using that information to then advertise on Facebook and inside of the Facebook network to that same person. So you end up getting this like 1-2 punch combo of both sides of the paid world focusing on that one particular person. So what ultimately the two do are help to create a more holistic view of who our audience truly is. And we can see from Google Analytics and then from Facebook, and then obviously tracking conversion. We have other tools that also do some very unique things as well, but those two combined are very, very powerful and work as a way to accelerate lead generation. You know, one of our clients that we've done a lot of work with, a nonprofit, we work with nonprofits for years. I sit on boards, I do a lot of that work, but we were able to get them for, it was like $500 in spend. I think they got 1,600 leads, and it was consistent, and they still do that every month, month over month. It's just an incredible cost of acquisition. We did that in Facebook, and we also did that combined in Google. So the two worked really well together, helping us to better advertise and target to that audience.
Yeah, and just to your point there, Brandon, with nonprofits, Google actually has a program set up for nonprofits where they will compensate you on some of your ad spend.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to look into. I just saw a question here from Colleen. I like this one here. What's the #1 way to stand out from your competition on Google Ads? It's a great question. Something it kind of reminds me of, you know, a very cluttered space. If we talk about, you know, Nike shoes, for example, you know, who's going to stand out with that? There's a ton of different stores out there that offer, you know, that type of product. So the #1 way that I see people standing out in Google Ads versus other advertisers is utilizing extensions. Ad extensions are so key here, guys. They will make your ad stand out from anybody else's that's not using extensions, and it's a very, very clear difference. I think I can show you here just for a second. If we go back, way back here to that example I have with those Nike shoes, you can see here how Nike's utilizing ad extensions, but Puma is not. So Google or Nike here has these 4, they call them site link extensions. So instantly this doubles the amount of real estate that you have inside this ad section. You now have 4 additional links that you can use to get a click through, and they're actually filling out all the information here. You can have several different descriptions. That's always important. Whereas Puma and the shoe company here, I've only filled out really one of their descriptions, so they're not getting the amount of visibility that they could there. But there are a ton, a plethora of different ad extensions that Google's offering these days. They keep coming out with more, from promotion extensions, the call out extensions, those call extensions we were talking about. You can see Puma was actually using that one. But that's really how you're going to want to stand out from your competition. If you're using extensions, your competitors aren't, you are almost definitely going to get one of those clicks.
Cool. Phil, I just responded to you, so you know we can discuss that. I can help. We can work with you to get onboarded with Google Grants program. It's pretty awesome. It's just that it's also complex at the same time because there's been so many nonprofits that just go and do this, and the same with Google Ads. We don't want clients that are just try this and expect you're going to get millions of dollars within 3 days and keep calling us and bugging us like, where's my ROI? You got to put in 3 months. It takes 1 month to set the whole thing up and get it all on and turned on and make it properly running. Another month to implement, like just let it run. Like basically just like watch the information. If we keep messing around with the variables and we don't know if our experiment's working. And then the 3rd month is when we implement a ton of optimizations to improve the account health, improve the campaign performance. And month 4 is really when you see what is the cost of acquisition. That's like the big keyword in paid advertising is return on ad spend. Basically, how much am I paying for a lead that's generating revenue? And so it takes time. Even in paid advertising, you know, I mean, we'll get you traffic immediately. Because sometimes, you know, if you're using garbage websites like WordPress, trust me, you'll never find us using WordPress. We have no time for that because people are spending money on that platform just to make it perform better, like actually make it faster. We don't waste time with that. We know small business, we know how much or how little time you have and how not really a whole lot of money either. So we can't afford to take those risks on your behalf. So we don't use WordPress.
Right. Well, you made a couple really good points there, Brandon. I just want to follow up on people will always tell you, and I mean, like when you're vetting different Google Ads agencies, you know, results are instant, results are instant, results are instant. What's usually the more so of the truth there is that visibility is instant. You can get in front of searchers. If you know, you can go to a Google Ads account, you can set it up in 5 minutes and just put in 6 keywords. And yes, you will have the opportunity to rank for those keywords, but the real key here, the key to growth and the key to success inside of Google Ads is data collection. Collect as much data as you possibly can from your audience. That is really what's going to allow us to improve and optimize further. Like when we launch a campaign, we don't know in the first day, we don't even know in the first week really what our correct click-through rates are going to be. That's a KPI on how well your ad is engaging with your audience. You really need to give that enough time to see how your audience is engaging with your ads so you can better understand how to get them to convert with you. Conversion optimization is key. So that's why we like to say, you know, 3 months, at the end of 3 months, we're pretty much off to the races here. We have a fully optimized campaign. You know, there's going to be a lot of tweaks that kind of go into that 4th month just to make sure it's the best that it can be. And then you got to keep in mind external variables. You know, advertising in November is completely different than advertising in April. So we have to keep those things in mind as well. It's different audience, different searchers. So you want to be able to manage monthly and understand how trends are shaping your searchers, that data that you're bringing in there, what's causing, you know, a CTR, your click-through rate to change from 5% in the first month, and now you're seeing a 2% in the second month. What changed? You need to be able to analyze that, and the more data you can collect, the better you're going to be at making those decisions. So that's a very important note. I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon, because visibility is instant, results are not guaranteed, and they're not instant unless you are, you know, selling something that literally nobody else is. And I don't know if there's many more of those out there these days.
We're getting a lot of traction here. You know, it's great. We know that typically with webinar registrations, just so you know, because I don't know, I've delivered over 350 of these events. That if you get 100 people registering, don't get excited. Only 30% of those people are going to show up, and that's what's going on. So just be aware of the reality, especially when a lot of people will register for these events and they'll think, oh, I'm going to get the presentation for free. I'll never need to talk to these guys or whatever. That's not how we're authentic. We're real. We need to develop an actual connection with you. That's why we're here. We're giving you our knowledge for free. We don't have to do that. So we're always inviting you to get on a call. Trust me, you'll know when you're being sold something. I'm pretty open about that. But for now, we just need to get to know you, figure out where you stand. Do you even qualify to even work with us? So we give you a bunch of consulting up front. Most agencies will charge for that because they can't afford, like we've been operating for a long time. We have no financial problems. We're good. So we don't need to, like, we don't act desperately to try and take on new clients. We get excited, but I'm just saying, right, we need to get to know you first. We need to make sure that you're going to be able to succeed. We do a lot of back-end reporting. We look at your SEO presence, your paid search. We basically get a clear understanding so that when we go to battle for you, we know what fight we're fighting and what we're doing and how we're doing it in a way that's going to sustainably make this work. And we do that as quickly as we can. That's where we're different. And we're a small, focused, and specialized agency. We only have 8 people in the company. Each person is capable of doing a lot of work because they're full-time staff.
That's right. Awesome. I think we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. Just as a quick follow-up, Colleen, these ad extensions or site link extensions, free. They're free. You just got to turn them on. You don't have to pay anything extra to add these in there. Again, this is what boggles my mind. I don't know why people that claim to be Google Ads advertisers don't know about these things. You just literally got to turn them on. So it's they're easy ways to differentiate yourself, and it costs you no more than what you'd already be spending.
Cool. All right, guys, it's 2 o'clock. We have other clients that we need to serve. So we're going to end it on time and respect your time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jordan. This is my favorite webinar we've done so far. I look forward to doing many, many more.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.